It's a big talking point, how prices rocket when the kids aren't in school. Later today, MPs are going to debate if travel companies could do more to bring down the costs. Liz Fraser from the parenting side on all of this, and travel advisor Richard Singer from Travelzoo.
Yeah, Travelzoo.
Yeah. And Liz, I have to say, looking at the reaction this end, there's been huge reaction, but pretty split down the middle on this.
It always generates an enormous reaction, this, because it's very emotional and it does polarise. And the reason it polarises is that parents like me who attempt to take their children to see the world, or even to stay within Britain, actually, and just go somewhere else, feel that they can't and that they're being very unfairly penalised. Those without children very often say, well, frankly, if you can't afford it, you shouldn't have had children, or you just have to grin and bear it. And I think with this story, which comes up time and time again, this is a really recurrent story, isn't it, in the news? Yep. I think we understand about business and the business model. We understand that, you know, companies need to make their money and perhaps want to charge more during the holidays, and you can't really stop that. It's very hard to see any way of stopping that. But I think what we're talking about today is the extent of that. It's this 3 or 4 times higher. And it kicks in the day the holidays kick off. And then we're being penalised as parents if
Richard,
we zip
they
off
were
a day
pretty
early.
scary, some of those price hikes there that we saw.
Yeah, no, they are, and I think what you've got to understand is within any holiday that a UK customer will go on, there's probably about 4 or 5 different parties involved in creation of that package holiday. So it'll be the airlines, it'll be the resort, it'll be the transfer company, and it's not just the UK consumer who wants to go to those places. They're popular places. Everybody in Europe are on holiday during those school summer holiday periods, and that's why there's such demand for all these places.
I understand that, and I heard what Liz said there as well, and I think, you know, these MPs will meet today. Are they really going to solve anything? Can they solve? What do you see coming out of this?
Yeah, personally, I hope the topic is far broader than just how do we put a cap on holiday companies. It's fair to say if there is a cap, which would be incredibly difficult to manage, to stipulate and to do, it needs to be much broader. So there are other solutions out there, but just at the moment it's a very one-dimensional, well, prices are too high, so let's try and penalise the travel companies. There's many other ways. The high prices are really a symptom of a more underlying problem.
What are the other options, though? Because the other thing they're talking about is kind of staggering school holidays or being a bit more flexible from that point of view. Is that going to work?
I see that as a very impractical solution, the staggering of school holidays. Or, you know, not only that, we know that families live all over the place, and sometimes you want to come together as a family. So if one cousin is on holiday one week and the other next week, I think we also have to remember people get quite sniffy about holidays and say, oh, you don't need holidays anyway. I think it is important to remember the benefits of having that time together as a family and of being able to go away from your house to experience something else. There's a huge value in that.
If you do, I think if you do it once, I've got a brother who's a head teacher, and I think his opinion is if you do it once and you're taking them to a holiday where they're going to get a lot out of it and they're spending time with their family, and you do some work when you're there, it's fine, would be my opinion. But, you know, I know there are other views are available. Well,
it's actually now illegal to do that. So as of September last year, you know, now parents will be fined to do what they used to do before.
And there's a petition's been handed to these MPs which said, let's have it the way it was, which was at the discretion of the head teacher.
Exactly.
But it is really difficult for some people. I've got a message from Craig here. He's a merchant Navy officer. He says, I can't take my kids on holiday now. My leave rarely matches school holidays. It's not fair. And it's really difficult, isn't it? If you do a job, you know, like you were explaining there, where your holidays are, you know, either need to be matched to a certain time or you just don't have the choice.
I think it's really part of a whole culture, though, where we find what you were saying about discretion. We find that very difficult. You know, we want to lay down exact rules and exact laws which apply to everybody. Whereas I think a lot of people are asking, is there some way that there can be this little bit of, you know, lenience? And also, a lot of parents watching now know full well that the last day or two of term, nothing goes on of any use, really, especially in primary school. They watch DVDs, they play games.
Colouring in
Everyone's
phase,
just awesome. So I think a lot of parents, you know, kind of seriously are saying, really, you're either prohibiting me from being able to go away at all.
But Liz, you know, if that happens and everybody starts doing that, the holiday companies will simply stretch their window of making money.
And hopefully what can happen is that parents know the head teacher and there's a little bit of human interaction, and, you know, maybe if you have 100% attendance, they could just turn a blind eye to a day here or there. I would like to see that happening, but I know a lot of teachers disagree with me on this one.
Guys, thank you very much indeed for that.